My favorite way to grow my online platforms is by reading amazing short stories and then asking you guys for your thoughts on them. In a forgotten corner of the world, where dusty winds howled louder than justice, there lived a girl named Mira. She was just 13. She didn't know much about the world, only the scent of dry bread, the cracked walls of her home, and the sound of her mother coughing every night. Her village was small, silent, and swallowed by poverty. People didn't dream there. They just survived. Mira's father, Jamal, had once been a proud man, but years of failed crops and rising debts had broken his spirit. The only thing he had left was his daughter, his last piece of innocence. One day, a man came to the village. He rode a black horse, wore fine leather boots, and his hands sparkled with gold rings. His name was Rav Khan. He called himself a merchant, but everyone knew he was something else. That evening, Jamal sat with Rav Khan behind the village mosque. They whispered like thieves. Jamal's face was tight with shame, his hands trembling. "I have nothing," he said, "but she's young, healthy. Take care of her." Rav didn't blink. He reached into his robe and pulled out a small velvet pouch. Inside it was a single gold coin. Shiny, perfect, heavy. "This is fair," Rav said. Jamal took the coin. And with it, he sold his daughter. Mira didn't know. Not at first. She was told she was going to the city to learn sewing and reading. Her mother cried quietly as she packed a small bag of clothes. Mira hugged her goodbye, thinking she'd return in a week. Rav Khan placed her in the back of a cart covered in cloth. She looked out once, saw her father standing far behind, clutching the coin tightly in his hand. He didn't wave. He didn't look. And Mira never saw him again. That there was no school, no sewing, no books. Mira was taken to a large house hidden behind tall walls and iron gates. She was given new clothes, told to smile, and taught how to serve. Strange men came in and out. Some looked at her too long. Some whispered things that made her heart race in fear. One night, she asked an older girl, "When will I go home?" The girl laughed bitterly. "This is your home now." That's when she understood. She hadn't been sent away. She had been sold. At first, Mira cried every night. She counted stars and whispered her mother's name, but as the months passed, something inside her changed. Her fear turned to silence. Her silence turned to steel. She began watching the guards, studying the routes, waiting for a mistake, and one night it happened. A gate left open, a drunk guard asleep. She ran. She didn't stop running until the sun rose. Her feet bled, her throat burned, but her heart beat with something she hadn't felt in months: hope. A woman found her near the city bus station. Her clothes were torn, her face dirty, but her eyes were burning. The woman, named Aja Bibi, ran a small shelter for orphan girls. When Mira told her everything, she didn't flinch. She held her. "You're safe now," she said. Mira grew up in that shelter. She went to school, she became a lawyer, and she never forgot. She started a program that tracked and rescued trafficked girls. She stood in courts, staring down men like Rav Khan, making sure they never touched another child. One day, she visited her old village. The house was abandoned. Her father was gone, vanished, or perhaps buried by his guilt. She reached into her purse and pulled out a small gold coin, the same kind she was sold for. She dropped it into the dirt and walked away because Mira was sold for a coin, but she rose like gold. So the story, huh? What do you think? Let me know what you would change if you were the author, and let me know what you want to see from me next. Also, quick announcement before I go. I've actually started streaming, and you can find me over at Twitch TV, the usual place. It's usually around midnight to 2 Eastern Standard Time, so if you're tired of people telling you to go outside, why not go outside and hang out with us? We do Jackbox, we do storytelling, we do music videos. I do Q&As, and yeah, it's pretty fun. Just search my name or check the description box below, and I will see you guys soon. Okay, so the very first thing I want to say about this story is that I love the writing style. It's very poetic. There's a lot of beautiful descriptions. For example, the way the story starts. In a forgotten corner of the world where dusty winds howled louder than justice, there lived a girl named Mira. Just sets the tone immediately. You can feel the atmosphere of this world. It's great. So the author clearly has talent. I can tell they put a lot of time and effort into this. Now, I also appreciate how they gave this protagonist a backstory. Like, we don't jump right into her being sold. We learn about her life, her situation, her family. This makes it easier for the reader to connect with Myra, to feel empathy towards her. I also thought it was interesting that we don't get to see the antagonist. Raf Khan is not a character we get to know. We don't understand his motivations. We don't see his point of view. We only see how he affects other characters. So it really paints him as an ambiguous villain, which I like. It reflects the reality of the situation. These people who do horrible things aren't always complex individuals. Sometimes they're just terrible. Now the plot, though it's a bit predictable, we all know that Myra is gonna escape. This story isn't really surprising, but that doesn't mean it's bad. In fact, there are many popular stories out there that follow similar plots but are incredibly successful. Think Cinderella stories. Everyone knows how they end, yet we still love them. Why? Because it's not about the plot. It's about the characters and their development. Myra goes through a significant transformation from a scared, innocent girl to a strong, resilient young woman. We see her grow and mature as she faces her challenges and overcomes them. And that's what makes the story so powerful. It's a story of survival, of hope, of resilience. And it's a message that resonates with all of us. However, there are some things I would change. For example, I feel like the ending was a bit abrupt. I would have liked to see more of Myra's journey after she escapes. How did she rebuild her life? How did she find healing and closure? I think exploring these themes would have added more depth to the story. Additionally, while I understand the story is Myra's perspective, I would have loved to see a scene from Rove Khan's perspective, just to get a better understanding of his mindset. Even if it doesn't excuse his actions, I think it would make for an interesting character study. Lastly, I feel like the story could have benefited from some more world building. The world feels a bit underdeveloped. Adding more details about the culture, the society, the politics would have made the story even more immersive and engaging. Overall, this is a well-written story with a powerful message. It's a story about hope and resilience and the strength of the human spirit. While there are some aspects I would change, the story's strengths far outweigh its weaknesses. The writing is beautiful. The characters are compelling, and the story is both timely and relevant. If you're looking for a story that will stay with you long after you finish reading it, then this is the story for you. It has a story that will inspire you and remind you that no matter how dark things may seem, there is always hope. So yeah, those are my thoughts on the story. I really enjoyed reading it, and I'm excited to see what the author does next. Anyways, I'm done rambling. Thank you for listening. Subscribe if you want, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.